You're watching Horizon League basketball on ESPN+. And good evening tonight from Wright State University's Nutter Center. It's a matchup between Conference USA and the Horizon League. The Raiders and the Hilltoppers of Western Kentucky come into this game both with a record of 6-2. Hello, everyone. I'm Chris Collins, along with Jim Brown. And a lot of similarities between these two teams, Coach, but one of them has to do with shooting. Western Kentucky, number 10 in the country in shooting percentage.
Well, they shoot the ball well from the field, from three-point range, and from the free throw line. They can really shoot the basketball, and it's going to be a challenge for Wright State to put to be able to defend that and get rebounds.
Well, you talk about rebounds and also scoring. Let's talk about our players to watch tonight, and let's start with Western Kentucky that's picked to win Conference USA.
Well, it's Charles Massey. I mean, they have 5 guys in double figures, so it's hard to pick on one guy, but Charles Massey is, without question, their highest profile player, 6'11", sophomore, averaging like 16 a game. He actually put his name in the draft last year and got invited to the combine. When you get invited to the combine, you're a serious threat to be able to go a little further. But anyway, he leads them in scoring, leads them in rebounds. He's a good free throw shooter. He doesn't shoot threes. He's only made 2 out there, but he's somebody that the Raiders are going to have trouble scoring against. And then for Wright State, Jalen Hall. Jalen Hall has, since the season has started, probably the last 5 games has been Wright State's most consistent player. Had 3 really good games down in Florida. He's a multi-dimensional player, can do a lot of things.
All right, let's go ahead and get to the starting lineups tonight. First, we'll start with the visitors from Western Kentucky University. Okay, in the backcourt for Western Kentucky will be a young man by the name of Tavion Hollingsworth. He's a junior, 6'2", out of Lexington, Kentucky, averaging 12 points a game. Also in the backcourt, you can see he's joined by Jared Savage. He's a local guy out of Bowling Green, Kentucky. And they'll be joined by Cameron Justice, the transfer from IUPUI, Carson Williams, the transfer from Northern Kentucky, and the big man, Charles Massey, who we talked about in the pregame here tonight. Now for Scott Nagy and his Wright State Raiders, he will go with this 5. Yes, Loudon Love is missing tonight. Going to be out for a few weeks due to the injury he suffered down in Florida last week. So Jalen Hall will be starting on the wing. He's playing extremely well here of late, along with Bill Wampler, Tanner Holden, the freshman. Grant Basile will start in place of Loudon Love, and Cole Gentry is the point guard. Well, Coach, we talked about it. Both of these teams with a record of 6-2. Both of them offensively. You look at the numbers, the efficiency is really, really good. They average 80 points. The big difference, though, is Western Kentucky shooting over 50% as a team this year.
Well, this should be a great, if both teams play to their potential, this should be a great college basketball game. You got 2 teams that were both picked to win their respective leagues. Both teams have been battle tested early. Wright State went down in Florida and played in the tournament. Western Kentucky went to a tournament in the Caribbean, and both came back 2-1. So Bowling Green beat these guys. That's a team that Wright State hasn't played, but they're familiar with other teams in that league who are similar. Kent State and Miami, they've already played. So this ought to be a very entertaining game. But for the Raiders to win, for Wright State to win, they're going to have to defend the 3 and keep the ball out of Charles Massey's hands, because once he catches it, he's going to score. He's going to get fouled.
You mentioned Charles Massey, and you look at some of the numbers that he has put up this year. 124 points, 77 rebounds, 12 blocks, 8 steals this season. And as of yesterday, he is one of 2 players in the nation with at least those numbers. So that speaks for itself. So he obviously is the focus of the Raiders defense. Well, Rick Stansbury's got to be really thankful to have him on his team.
Yeah, both these coaches are in their 4th year at their respective schools, and both have had great coaching careers. Rick Stansbury's been at several schools, as you mentioned earlier. Coach Nagy just at South Dakota State before he came here. Looking at Massey, he needs to get some of Williams' weight. That would help him immensely. Carson Williams is a stud. He is put together, and we knew about him. This is Coach Scott Nagy in his 4th year at Wright State. Been very, very successful at Wright State. Took him to the national tournament a couple years ago, and he's been Coach of the Year in this league the last 2 seasons, and hasn't let up one bit this year. They're just as good this year.
All right, so Massey will jump center against Wright State redshirt freshman Grant Basile, coming off a double-double down in Florida, as the Raiders took 2 out of 3 in the Gulf Coast Showcase. Here's the tap, and it is controlled by Hollingsworth and the Hilltoppers. Coming to this game with a record of 6-2 and an outstanding shooting basketball team. And one of those has the ball right now, Justice. He throws it to Savage. He tosses inside to Basile, and he gets a dunk to start the game. 2-0 Hilltoppers.
Well, that was way too easy. What they did was they put the ball on one side and then reversed it. And
here's Jalen Hall, turnaround on the lane line. Bank shot is no good. Basile grabs the rebound. Outlet pass to Hollingsworth. He'll slow it down to midcourt. Give it up on the wing to Savage. Quickly into the hands of Justice. Justice off the screen, works against Cole Gentry. Pass down and low to Basley again. Looks like he's double teamed, flips it out to Savage. Wide open from three. It's off the rim, and the rebound to Tanner Holden.
Well, that's one thing Wright State's going to have to really do is limit Western Kentucky to one shot.
They're going to let Basili shoot that three. He decides not to.
Well, I think if it had been a little later in the shot clock, he might have shot that. He can make that shot, and he's going to have to make it for the Raiders to win.
Here's Jalen Hall. Jab step goes down the baseline with the right hand, lays it up. No, gets his own rebound and puts it off the rim. No good. Rebound, Williams.
Well, a great move to get all the way to the rim. Just left it a little short.
Williams off to Justice. Can't get the three off. Laps it over to Williams. He'll try one from the wing. Rim it in and out. Good box out. Coming up with the ball is Gentry.
Now, Carson Williams is not a great three-point shooter. He's only taken 9 on the season.
Gentry blowing to the bucket, high off the glass.
Yeah.
Gets 2. We're tied at 2.
Well, you said that right. He had to get that. That was well above the little square they have up there, and that was the only way he was going to be able to make it because Basley was coming to block that shot and actually really affected it in one way, but there's an offensive foul.
And I think it's going to be Basley. Let's check it out real quick. Yep, it is. That's his first, the team's first. We're tied at 2 with 18:20 to play in the first.
Well, that's one thing the Raiders are going to try to do is to get him in foul trouble. You know, in their one loss down in the Caribbean, Bowling Green was able to get. Now, see, that shouldn't happen. That's the guard's fault there, in my opinion. Hollingsworth just put the ball on the floor too quick and didn't give Massey a time to get himself set.
Jalen Hall gives it up to Wampler. Catch and shoot 3 from the wing, and he drills it, and the Raiders take a 5-2 advantage.
Well, they're going to have to get that kind of scoring out of Wampler tonight. And that's the one thing the Raiders have got to do is they've got to be able to get scoring out of the 3 players, in my opinion, Wampler, Cole Gentry, and, of course,
Hollingsworth. Nice move, gets it down low, but the ball out of the hands of Basley to Williams, and it's blocked by Basili, who picks it up and gets it to Hall.
Big-time block right there.
Here's Wampler, right wing this time. The 3 is off the mark. That rebound tipped around. Basili had it inside, but stolen by Savage. Up the right sideline. Justice for 3. Too strong. Williams back to Basley. Hollingsworth. Justice will try it again over Holden. It skims the rim into the hands of Savage. He can't get the layup, and it's rebounded by Basili.
Well, both teams missed opportunities there. At the one end, Jalen Hall, 2 easy ones, and they actually
Basili left open his first 3 of the game. It's off the mark, and the rebound to Hollingsworth.
Western had 3 opportunities that time and just couldn't get it to go.
Down on the low block right, Savage leaves it for Basley, an easy flush. He's got 4. The Raiders are up by 1. We played 3 minutes in the first half.
They just beat the Raiders down the floor that time. The Raiders weren't ready defensively, and good opportunity for Western to get an easy shot, and they got it.
Out front, nearly stolen by Williams. Into the high post to Basili. Looking back door, now on the wing to Holden. Holden dribbling at the elbow, looking inside, back out to Wampler. Wampler feeds it down into the post, left side, Basili bouncing in against Basley. Turnaround jump hook, right hand, rattles in and out, rebound Holden, blocked by Basley, into the hands of Justice.
That's what Basley can do. Is he can? Oh, there's a big steal.
By Jalen Hall. One-on-one behind the back to Holden. His layup, no good. Rebound underneath Justice.
Well, the Raiders have had 2 opportunities inside that they haven't been able to score.
Here's Savage leaving it underneath for Basley. Close range. He's got 6. And Western Kentucky takes a 1-point lead with 16:10 to play in the first.
You give Basley those kind of shots, he's going to wear you out. 3 layups. But the Raiders have had 2 really good opportunities inside. Jalen Hall and then that time Tanner Holden, and just haven't been able to take advantage of it.
Now it's Hall deep on the left wing. Sets up his 3 ball. It's short. Justice with an easy rebound. He leads the break. On the wing, Savage.
Oh, that's a walk.
Spin move goes inside and puts it up and in.
Yeah, he got away with a travel there, no question about it.
It's 8-5. Western Kentucky with the lead. Out front, Wampler now on the wing left. It's Hall. Hall off a screen behind the back, threw the ball out of bounds. And a turnover, and that will send us to the under 16 break. Coming with 15:30 left in the first half here at Wright State. It's Western Kentucky 8 and the Raiders 5. Back at Wright State's Nutter Center, along with Jim Brown, this is Chris Collins. Exciting start to this one. We're in the first media timeout, and the Raiders trail by an 8-5 score to Western Kentucky.
Yeah, and Wright State's missed two real easy shots. Now here's that scramble inside, and there's Grant Vasily comes from the weak side and blocks the shot, and then this is a spin move by Savage. Savage got inside, or that was Savage that got inside there, and every basket that Western Kentucky's gotten here so far in this game, we've only played 4.5 minutes, has been a layup. Three of them by Charles Bassling, and then that last one right there by Savage.
Substitutions, Jordan Rawls into the game along with Josh Anderson for Western Kentucky. Here's Massey inside on the block, turn around against James Manns, puts it in. He has got 8, and it's 10-5 Western Kentucky.
Yeah.
You mentioned Manns is in along with Jordan Ash and also Trey Calvin.
And every one of his shots has been in the paint.
James Manns, quick three, skims the rim, ball loose into the hands of Jordan Ash. His layup is no good, and the Raiders are wasting opportunities.
Well, they sure are. They've gone 7 possessions now without scoring, and they've had great opportunities to score. They've had some good shots. They just can't get it to go.
Here's Justice inside as he goes ahead and throws up the lob to Massey. He is fouled by Jordan Ash. Stops the clock with 14:48 to play. Western Kentucky will keep it with a 10-5 lead.
I don't know where that foul was. That wasn't on Wright State. I guess they did. They called it on Jordan Ash, but I didn't see a foul there. I mean, you're
going to get an explanation from one of the officials. Looking for a potential flagrant foul right now. Apparently, we had a chance to see that replay again. So 2 officials right now are talking about that to see if it was a flagrant foul on Jordan Ash against Charles.
Well, he went up for the lob. Yeah, I mean,
looked like a basketball
George's
play.
Just trying to box him out. If they call a flagrant foul there, that's going to be very unfortunate for Jordan Ash because he's just trying to get position there. No way was he trying to undercut the shooter. He was just, the guy going for the lob, which was Massey. They were running a play where Massey was going to come in there throwing the lob for the dunk, and Jordan Ash just was in the wrong place at the wrong time. He was trying to box out, which is what you want to do. He didn't realize the player was going for a lob dunk. So I don't know what they're going to,
Now they're going to bring the third official in to try to get an idea.
I agree with you. I think it was just a basketball play. I don't think there was anything untoward there in terms of what Jordan Ash was trying to do. He was just trying to.
Wright State.
He was just trying to get defensive position and box his man out because he thought the one guy with the ball was going to shoot it. That's what that's certainly what I thought. I didn't think they were going for a lob because Massey was a good ways away. I mean, you see here he's a ways away. He's not even, and then he comes in and
they waved it off.
Yeah, which I think is a good call. That's good refereeing because I didn't think there was anything.
Just a personal foul.
Of course, Stansbury doesn't agree with it, which. That's to be expected, I guess.
Andy O'Brien, King, Whetstone, Luke Schumer, our officials tonight. Ball into Savage, into the corner. This is Rawls with it, back out front to Savage.
And Rawls is a good three-point shooter. He had one game this year where he made 4 of them.
Here's Savage with it in the corner, dribbling against Wampler. 3 put up from the corner, and there it is on cue. But that's Josh Anderson nailing the 3, and Western Kentucky is up by 8. Raiders just 2 of 11 from the floor here early. Jordan Ash dribbling down the left side. His layup is good.
Well, that's what you have to do. You have to attack the basket. You cannot worry about getting your shot blocked. You worry about getting your shot blocked, then you're going to be intimidated. You're not going to get anything done. Jordan took the ball right to the basket, took it right at him, and got it to go in.
Anderson to Rawls, getting a screen from Massey. Rawls taking it inside, goes from the left to the right hand and puts it in. It's 15-7 Western Kentucky with under 14 to play in the first.
Well, they're on 11-2 run here, and that's how they've extended their lead.
James Manns left open 3, missed it. Rebound Justice. Over to Anderson. Looking inside, gets it into Massey against Manns. He's double teamed. Ball goes back out front. Rawls called for traveling.
Well, that was a good job by James Mann there. He got some help from the weak side, but that was a good job defensively on Massey. He's a handful inside. Now, he's going out of the game right now, so maybe the Raiders, Wright State can take advantage of it. Wright State has really had some tough luck offensively. I mean, they've had some really good looks, but they have gone 9 possessions with 1 basket. You know, they did this in their last game down, or the next to last. Actually, it was in their last game when they played Miami. They went 14 possessions with only scoring twice.
Skylar Potter is into the game for Wright State. Here's a 3 by Calvin. It is good. Trey Calvin hits the triple, and it's 15-10 Hilltoppers.
It's a big basket for the freshman. He just came off a little dribble handoff there, and Western went behind the screen or behind the dribble handoff. He had a look at the basket and made the 3. That's a big
Rawls
basket.
at the free throw line. From short range, he missed that shot. Tip by Holden over to Massey back in. Calvin will bring it up for Wright State. Calvin crossover dribble, picks it up. Top of the key, Ash. Ash with a dribble down the lane line. Feeds the ball out and threw it away. Hollingsworth with a steal, and he'll take it all the way for the right-hand dunk.
Well, he was expecting one of his teammates to cut toward him, and he went the other way. That was just miscommunication between Jordan Ash and...
And there's another steal into the hands of Savage. He leaves it for Anderson, but he threw it too far. So Western Kentucky, with an opportunity there, turns it over. 12:35 left in the first, 17-10 Hilltoppers.
That's the 4th turnover for Western Kentucky. Wright State has 3, 2 on their last 2 possessions. Turnovers are killers when you don't even get a shot.
Potter off to Holden. Now Ash with it. Back out to Holden. Ash looking inside, lobs it into Basili. He's double teamed against Williams, forces one up. It's blocked by Savage, and Williams with a loose ball.
It took Grant too long to get his shot off there.
On the other side, we're going to have a blocking foul whistled against Skylar Potter with 12:11 to play in the first. Team foul 2 on the Raiders. That's the first on Potter, who is the sophomore out of Bowling Green, Kentucky.
You know, there's the
blocking foul.
Yeah, blocking foul on Skylar Potter.
All right, so
you know, one of the problems Wright State has had this year is inconsistency on offense, and here they're in another rut where they just cannot score.
Here's Williams, who's really good around the basket, and he delivers. He puts it in. It's now 19-10 Western Kentucky. 12 minutes to play in the first.
Well, Western's getting everything inside. I mean, just about every one of their baskets has been in the paint, and Wright State's got to find an answer to that because Wright State, given they have gotten good shots. There's no question that they've gotten good shots. They just have had trouble making them.
Here's Calvin running down the lane with the right hand. He's got 5 off the bench. 19-12 Western Kentucky.
And you got to make shots. When you get good shots, you got to make them when you're playing a team of Western Kentucky's caliber because they're going to make their shots. They're a great shooting team.
This is Rawls. Backdoor pass to Savage in traffic. Trying to get the shot off. Goes up against Basili. Can't. And Basili
I
takes
thought
it
he
away.
got fouled there. I mean, I thought Grant got him on the arm. Maybe not, but that looked a lot of contact inside.
Calvin to Basili. Basili going inside on Williams. 5 feet away off the glass. Puts it in from the right side. It's 19-14 Western. On the other end, Hollingsworth. He's fouled.
You got to get back. Yeah, Wright State's got to get back on missed shots. You can't give up easy shots.
We'll take a break with 11:06 to go in the first here at Wright State. It's Western Kentucky 19 and the Raiders 14. The Horizon League is comprised of 10 public and private institutions, 9 of which located in top 70 media markets. And in 2020 and 21, Purdue-Fort Wayne will join the league. To learn more, visit horizonleague.com. With Chris Collins and Jim Brown, 19-14. Western with the lead with 11:06 to play in the first.
Yeah, both teams are. Western Kentucky is shooting 53%. I'm a little surprised it's not higher than that because everything they've had has been in the paint. They've made one outside shot. That was a 3 that Josh Anderson made. The Raiders are 2 for 7 on 3-point shots. Walper made 1 and Trey Calvin made 1.
Hollingsworth at the line, 83%, and he misses the first. We talked about the proficiency of this Western Kentucky team, not only from the field, but from the free throw line. An excellent shooting team. And Hollingsworth, one of those, shooting at 83% from the line coming into this game. And his second one missed that one also. Jalen Hall with the rebound.
Maybe it's one of those nights. You know, you never know. Free throw shooting to me is a lot of it is confidence. You can be a great free throw shooting team, but if you lose confidence, you can struggle.
Here's Jalen Hall off the dribble, goes inside with the left hand. Couldn't get it to fall, and the rebound comes down to Anderson.
Again, that shot was bothered at the rim.
Lob pass into Williams, and he's fouled by Hall with 10:44 to play in the first. That's now 14 fouls on the Raiders. Western has been called for 1.
Western's getting the ball down the floor quickly against Wright State. I mean, that's good offense by Western Kentucky. Get it down the floor as quick as you can. Maybe you get an easier shot. Wright State has got to get back and defend their rim. One of the last.
Walls to Justice. Here's Justice at the elbow. Turns around. He's open. Takes the shot and drains it. 21-14 Western. Now Gentry. Wampler back in. Back to Gentry outside. Trey Calvin. Right wing. It's Hall. Jalen takes the ball in, and he's fouled by Justice. His first, the team second.
So that's a tough matchup for Western Kentucky. Jalen Hall's much quicker than Justice, and he's taken him. He's had his way with him in terms of getting to the rim. He just hasn't been able to finish. He's had two great opportunities where he got by Justice, got all the way to the rim, and just couldn't finish. Now he's going to shoot the 2 free throws.
72% at the line. His first one is up and good. Hit some clutch free throws in that win over Miami.
There's Coach Nagy and his staff. Clint Sargent on his left, Brian Cooley on his right. These guys do a great job. And the other assistant we didn't see there was Sharif Chambliss.
Hall makes them both. He's got 2. The Raiders trail by a 21-16 score.
Those assistants have been with Coach Nagy since he got here.
And a steal by Cole Gentry. And Gentry will take it all the way for an easy layup.
Great anticipation by Cole Gentry on a cross-court pass. That's just a great anticipation. That's what got that steal. Just a cross-court pass, and Cole anticipated it, got in front of Cameron Justice, and got the steal and the layup.
Here's Justice on the other end.
Almost an illegal screen there.
Misses the jumper, rebound Hall. On the wing, Gentry takes the ball into the paint. Floater with a right hand, rolls around and in. 21-21. Wright State trailing by 1 with 9:42 to play in the first.
Well, those 6 points were quick. The 2 free throws and then the 2 baskets.
Now it's Justice. Here's Rawls inside. Floater, right hand. Short rebound. Vasily. Calvin.
Great pass.
Gentry.
Great pass.
Put it in.
What a great pass.
And a timeout was called by Rick Stansberry. With 9:18 to play here in the first, it'll be a 30-second timeout. What a great look from Calvin. You're right, Coach.
Well, it took 2 guys there. It took the cut, and then it took the pass. Just great basketball. You just love to see that. You know, when you see a play like that, that's why you really like to watch college basketball at this level, because you see these kind of plays.
Raiders take their first lead of the game. Cole Gentry with a reverse layup. You can see it right here on the replay.
That was anticipation there. He just got in the passing lane, just beat Cameron Justice to the ball. That was all anticipation on his part. Now here's the little teardrop into the lane, and we see,
look at that pass.
Yeah. The pass that resulted in a basket. I mean, the last 3 possessions has been Cole Gentry.
Well, you get it.
So the Raiders are on a 8-0 run here to get themselves a 1-point lead.
All right, so Hollinsworth at the point. Savage Williams wants it out high against Wampler. Can't get around it with a dribble. Comes back out to Hollinsworth with 16 on the shot clock. Nearly stolen to the foul on Wampler, reaching around Williams. He's so crafty in the post.
Well, he's a wide body, and he's strong, and he's not nearly as effective out on the perimeter. He popped out on the perimeter and caught the ball, but he got rid of it and then went down and posted up Bill inside. That's where he's effective. And that's why Bill didn't want him to catch the ball. He went for the steal, because if he catches it, he's an extremely good player inside.
Williams to Hollinsworth. Here's Massey back in.
Travel.
8:51 to play in the first. 22-21 Wright State. They get the ball on the turnover.
What Grant Basile did there was when he caught the ball, he took a step back, and a center wants to have contact, so he knows where the defense is and he can make his move. And when Grant backed up, he really didn't know where the defense was, and he took that little half step.
Wampler handoff, Gentry. Baseball pass, Wampler, catch and shoot 3. And was it deflected? Wampler thought it was, but the officials say no. It's an air ball, and it goes to Weston.
Well, I don't think that was a great shot. I mean, Bill was kind of off balance. When you catch the ball on the move like that and take a shot, that's a difficult shot. The easier shot is when you catch it and you're standing still, catch and shoot type situation. When you got to put it on the floor, that's a much more difficult play.
Massey swings to the Hollinsworth. Oh, Justice, catch and shoot three on the wing. Got it.
He can do that. We saw at IUPUI, he can miss 3 or 4 in a row, and then he can make 5 in a row.
Here's Calvin to the right lane line. He tried to feed it, and it's stolen by Williams.
Too much traffic down there for that pass. Right idea, but just way too much traffic.
Hollingsworth forces one up and missed it. Hall the rebound. 24-22 Western, under 8 minutes to play in the first. Here's Hall taking it to the bucket. He's double teamed, passes it out to Massey. Wide open three, it's short, and the rebound to Justice. Here's Savage, finds Williams in the corner. Takes it into the left lane. Tried to get around 2 men, throws it back out to Massey. Wide open three, it's short, rebound into the hands of Wampler. He's on the floor, going to scramble for possession. And it's going to be a jump. The arrow belongs to Wright State, but we're going to step out for the under 8 timeout. With 7 minutes and 29 seconds to play in an exciting first half here at Wright State, it's Western Kentucky 24 and the Raiders 22. Along with Jim Brown, Chris Collins at Wright State University's Nutter Center. Entertaining first half as we have 7:29 to play. The Raiders trail by 2.
Yeah, this is a nice pass to Carson Williams inside. Look at the shot fakes there. It's good footwork inside. He shot faked twice to get his defense up in there. And there's a great pass from Trey Calvin to Cole Gentry for a layup. That was on a 8-0 run by the Raiders there. That culminated it and forced Western to call a timeout. This has been a very entertaining game so far. Both teams are playing pretty well. Turnovers have been a problem. Western Kentucky has 6. Wright State has 5. Rebounds are even at 14.
Gentry with the ball off to Wampler. Beat it into the paint to Massey. Massey going inside. He tried to leave it for Ash, and he threw it away. Here's Justice on the other end. Hollingsworth makes the 3. They want to get it to Massey. Why not? 1-on-1 now. Digging down low is Wampler for help. Baseline short jump shot. Rolls around
nice
again.
Soft touch. Yes, very nice soft touch. He's having his way inside against the young freshman. And, Graham Pacelli's a redshirt freshman. Very, he's gaining some experience, but this is only his second start in college. And
10 for Massey.
Yeah, he's.
Hall fakes the 3. High post passed over to Massey. Massey goes inside against Massey with a left hand. He put it in.
Yeah, that's a good move. He didn't shy down there. He took it right to the basket, used the left hand, his offhand, got it off the glass. That ought to give him some confidence.
Hilltoppers with the ball and a 2-point lead. Under 6.5 to play in the first. Hollingsworth careful with the ball there to Anderson. Anderson off the dribble down the baseline. Massey, mid-range jumper, left wing, got it. He's got 12.
Good player. I mean, hey, look, when you go put your name in the draft and you get to go to the combine, you're the real deal. And he probably won't be playing for Western next year, so they better take advantage of it this year. He'll probably be gone after this season.
Jalen Hall, corner 3, rattles out. Massey, the easy rebound. 4-point advantage. Justice spin moved with a dribble, goes inside, finds Massey going in with a left hand, left it short. Underneath rebound, Western Kentucky Savage. Hollingsworth, wing Justice.
Yeah, you better get a hand up on him.
Here's Justice at the free throw line.
Yeah.
Blocked by Hall, but he also got some of the arm of Justice. He'll get 2 free throws. And Jalen Hall now, the Wright State sophomore, with 2 fouls. And that's team foul number 6, I believe, on Wright State.
I think Justice got whacked across the face there on the attempted block. Taking his time here. He's another good free throw shooter. You see a replay here, and yeah, I didn't. Oh, he got bumped after when Jalen Hall was after he blocked and he came down. He kind of got Justice across the face with his elbow, I think, inadvertent, but
he'll get 2 throws. Justice 71% from the line. He makes his first one. Into the Raiders lineup, Holden and Calvin, 2 freshmen into the game, and Carson Williams will replace Massey with 5:41 to play in the first. Western Kentucky back out to a 5-point advantage at 29-24.
After that 8-0 run by Wright State, Western's got themselves, after the timeout, rejuvenated. They're right back in the lead, taking control here.
Experienced team. Grad transfer Justice drops down another one from the free throw line, and a substitution back in for Western Kentucky. Into the game for the first time, Jeremiah Gambrell. He is a 6'2 freshman guard out of Houston.
And the big kid's out now. Massey's out for the rest. So this is when Wright State needs to take advantage of this, because and it looks to me like Western's gone to a 2-3 zone, Chris. Yeah, they're in a zone. Raiders haven't gone against a zone much this season at all. In fact, I can't remember the last time anybody played a zone against them.
Here's Holden with the basketball back out front to Calvin. 10 on the shot clock. Raiders not attacking against the zone yet. Calvin, 5 to shoot. Right corner. Holden takes the 3, but he walked with the basketball, so not a good possession that time for Wright State. They'll send in Skylar Potter for Jordan Ash.
Well, that's a substitution for shooting there. Skylar's a three-point shooter, and Jordan's not an effective outside shooter. They had Jordan at the high post there, and that was a good defensive play by Coach Stansbury to go to the zone, because it really got the Raiders off balance. And they'll probably adjust on the next possession or the following. But you got one.
Hollingsworth mid-range jump shot is good. He got away from the freshman and knocked it down from about 15 feet away.
Well, they're on an 8-0 run themselves.
They got an 8-point advantage. Here's Wampler out front, fouled by Hollingsworth. 13th foul on Western Kentucky, and for Hollingsworth his first personal.
Well, Western doesn't foul. I mean, that's why they shoot so many more free throws than their opponents, is because they do not foul. And they went to the zone defense with.
He just lost his balance, Hollingsworth, on the replay.
Well, he went for a steal. Yeah, he went for the steal, didn't get it, and lost his balance.
In the zone, 2-3. See how the Raiders attack it. Quick shot by Wampler to the 3. Nope. Williams the rebound. Hollingsworth in transition. Going one-on-one against Wampler, taking him inside. He's double-teamed by Potter. They left him wide open, and he puts it in from close range. The lead is up to 10, the largest of the game for Western Kentucky. Staying in that zone.
Well, they'll stay in it because the Raiders are confused right now as to what to do.
Can't get it into the middle. Here's Gentry with it on the left sideline. Has to throw the ball underneath the Holden. He had the ball back out to Potter. Potter for 3. It's 2 go. Rebound. Here's Holden. He finds all alone. It's Wampler for the layup.
Well, that's big heads-up play by Tanner Holden. What a big-time play for him. I mean, the Raiders struggled there. They actually got a pretty decent shot, but Tanner got the rebound. Saw a teammate under the basket and made a great pass.
Hollingsworth. Now it's Savage with the basketball from Gambrell. Savage on the wing, double team, ball loose. He picks it up, gets it into the corner to Anderson. Anderson dribble drive into the paint, forces one up with the right hand, missed it. Rebound loose, picked up by Holden. Back come the Raiders, trailing by 8, and that ball is off the leg of Anderson, right out in front of us near midcourt, and that'll send us to the under 4 break with 3 minutes and 24 seconds to play in the first half. Here at the Nutter Center, it's Western Kentucky 34 and the Raiders 26. Along with Jim Brown, Chris Collins at the Nutter Center. It's Western Kentucky leading Wright State 34-26. Raiders took advantage here of a nice play by Tanner Holden.
Yeah, it's a great rebound off the miss by Skylar Potter, and a good recognition to see Bill under the basket. Both teams have taken 29 shots. Western's just made 4 more than Wright State. That's why they have the 8-point lead. That's how close this game is. I mean, it's an extremely close game. Rebounds are about the same. Turnovers are about the same. The difference is Western's just shooting a little bit better percentage from the field.
Massey with 12 points back into the game. Grant Basile for Wright State. 17 on the shot clock. The Raiders with the ball. This is Holden working against the man-to-man. Taking it inside with the left hand off the glass. He is fouled. He'll get a chance for a 3-point play. Tanner Holden, the true freshman out of Wheelersburg, Ohio.
Very nice move. He got a little screen you don't see there in the replay, but that's great. Taking it to the basket and using the left hand. He's right-handed, and that's something you learn as a young player, to be able to go both ways. And he took his man to the right and then crossed over to the left. Got all the way to the rim. That was a tough shot. It wasn't a layup. It was about a 10-footer.
And that left-handed free throw rolls around the rim a few times before dropping through the net. And that brings the Raiders to within 5 as we approach 3 minutes to play in the first half. Hollingsworth works against the freshman Calvin. Picks up his dribble over to Savage. Now it's Anderson. And got an offensive foul called on Anderson, is going down on the floor, taking that charge. Well, Skylar Potter.
I'd like to see a replay on that because I think Skylar just fell down. Now, maybe there was a little chicken wing there with the left arm. We'll see here. We got a good look at it here. Savage puts the ball on the floor. Yeah, well, and just play on.
They actually gave that on an illegal screen.
Oh, is that what? Okay.
That is
all right.
His second. And he goes to the bench.
That could have, yeah, he did. And again, I mean, when you get a pick and roll like that,
and an offensive foul.
Now that's a bad call.
And that is an offensive foul.
Well,
I think it's going to be Vasily on
no, he's saying that he moved the screen. He didn't move the screen at all. I don't know what that referee's watching, but that Skylar was. I hope we can see a replay of this because there was no movement whatsoever. Skylar, he's set before contact. See, the rule is you have to be set before contact. You can move your screen as long as you're set when contact is made, and Skylar was set there. It's an unfortunate call for Wright State.
So now in the bonus is Western Kentucky. Justice now gives it back to Anderson. Step back three is short, and the long rebound goes to Gentry. Gentry feeds it over to Ash. Ash will take it in, and it's blocked by Anderson. Over to Justice. Hollinsworth, lob to Williams on the dunk on the left side. Great play by Western Kentucky. 36-29 as we approach 2 minutes to play in the first. Western Kentucky on the road with the lead. Calvin tried to throw it down to the post. He does find Vasily. Wrap around left corner, Holden. Holden leaves it in for Ash. He goes up to Vasily, and his shot is blocked by Anderson.
I'll tell you what, they're blocking some shots inside. I mean, that's at least 4. Here's the pass and see the block. I mean, Rawls just times that. Or that was Anderson. Anderson's one of their best jumpers. I mean, he's had several dunks on the season.
Here's Trey Calvin for 3 on the wing. He misses it, and the rebound
too quick
to
there.
Anderson.
Just too quick. We didn't have anybody ready to rebound.
Anderson, 6'6", jumping jack out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Yeah, he's a great jumper. You can see that. He's very, very athletic.
He had it stripped away by Gentry. Steal by Vasily. Over to Calvin. Calvin, he leaves it for Holden. It's blocked. Ash with it. Back out Gentry. Straight on 3. He buried it. 36-32 Western with 1:20 to play.
Yeah, that's a big-time possession for Wright State. They were down 7. They don't score there. Western comes down with a chance to extend that lead. That's a big-time basket off of a loose ball that the Raiders were able to come up with.
1:08 to play in the first. It's Justice. Screen from Williams. A long 3 over Gentry. It's short. Rebound is Silly. Now Calvin with the dribble and the offensive end of Vasily. Here's Grant dribbling against Williams. Bumping, taking him inside, trying to find an opening.
A lot of contact.
A foul now on Williams, and that'll be the team's 6th. And it's not a shooting foul, so the Raiders will put it in play with 20 on the shot clock and 48.3 left in the first, trailing 36-32.
Well, Grant's footwork got him this call. I mean, look at his footwork here. He doesn't travel. He goes into traffic. He doesn't shy away. That's what got him the foul, was the fact that his good footwork and his being able to maintain his balance.
Here's Calvin triggering the inbounds pass, and it's stolen away from Vasily by Anderson. Anderson lost it for a moment. Hollinsworth missed the shot to Holden. 35 seconds. Holden crossover dribble, taking it down the baseline, fires wide open. Trey Calvin 3 rims around it out. Wampler the rebound. He'll put it back up and in. 2-point lead for Western.
Well, the Raiders have battled here this last 2 minutes. I mean, they have battled.
And the crowd coming up here with Western going to get the final shot. Hollinsworth out near midcourt. Hollinsworth. He misses the close shot, goes out of bounds. 10th of a second left. The Raiders will have it. Hollinsworth didn't know what to do with it right there. He was able to find a clear look at the shot.
Well, it's great defense. Yeah, great defense by Wright State there on that possession.
And that'll be it. The Raiders just inbounded. So a very exciting first half here at Wright State's Nutter Center. Stay with us for halftime. The score, Western Kentucky 36 and Wright State 34. And And welcome back to Wright State University's Nutter Center along with Jim Brown. I am Chris Collins. And as advertised, we talked about these two teams. Both picked to finish first in their leagues this year. Wright State in the Horizon League and the Hilltoppers of Western Kentucky in Conference USA. And we were not disappointed in this first half. A 2-point margin, 36-34. Western with the lead in the first.
Yeah, and it's been the players we talked about. Charles Massey, 6 for 8 from the field. The Raiders didn't have an answer for him early in the game. 12 points. They had to take him out a few times. And for the Raiders, Cole Gentry, 11 points. The Raiders finished the half on an 8-2 run, and Western had a chance to really distance themselves here late in the first half and didn't take advantage of it. Wright State scored 8 of the last 10 points, and they only trailed by 2 here at halftime.
And for the Raiders, Cole Gentry, 5 for 5 from the floor. He's made 1 3-pointer. He has 11 points to lead the Raiders, the only Raider in double figures in this first half.
Yeah, and both teams have turned the ball over a little bit more than what their coaches would want. Wright State has 9, Western has 8, and rebounds are real even. I mean, the Raiders were behind early, but now it's a 23-19 in favor of Wright State. As you said, this has been a great college basketball game to watch.
And 2 fouls each for Jalen Hall and also Charles Massey for Western Kentucky. We'll keep an eye on that as we approach halftime. Take you through half. Justin Kinner will come up next. At the half, it's Western Kentucky 36 and Wright State 34.
And we are back here at the half, 36-34. The Wright State Raiders trail Western Kentucky by 2. Again, 36-34 the score. Very entertaining first half. It's been a game of runs for both teams. Both teams coming in with the same record. Both teams coming into the season with a lot of expectations. This matchup has been circled on the calendar for both teams when you look at the schedule for both teams coming into the season. Let's take a look at what's coming ahead for both teams. We'll start with Western Kentucky. Western Kentucky, after this matchup with the Raiders, they'll have Arkansas in a big matchup right there on the 7th coming up on Saturday. They'll have Kentucky Wesleyan coming up around the corner again. That'll be an exhibition game. Then they'll have an A-10 opponent in Rhode Island. They'll have Belmont, North Texas, and Rice on January 4th. Again, conference play for them coming up just around the corner as well, just like the Wright State Raiders. Let's take a look at what's coming up for the Raiders and what's coming up for their non-conference schedule here moving forward before Horizon League play begins on December 28th. Indiana State, that's going to be a good one coming up on Saturday. They'll have Southern on December 12th, Mississippi Valley State, and then Toledo. Toledo, the top team in the MAC. I saw Joe Lenardi put out his bracketology report. Toledo projected to win the MAC, and they've been off to a tremendous start here. The Raiders will tip off conference play against the Green Bay Phoenix coming up on the 28th. Again, your score 36-34. Western Kentucky up 2 over the Wright State Raiders. We'll have more of our halftime show when we come back. With the first 20 minutes of play in the books, the Wright State Raiders trail 36-34 to Western Kentucky. This has been a game of runs, and any time that Western Kentucky looks like they're about to pull away, the veteran-led group for the Wright State Raiders has been able to inch their way back into it. Very fortunate to only be down 2, considering the game of runs that this has been and how Western Kentucky has jumped out to some large leads at times. Despite the size advantage for Western Kentucky, the Wright State Raiders, they hold the rebounding edge, 23-19. Both teams sharing the ball at times, 6 assists for Western Kentucky, 5 for the Raiders, and both are turning the ball over. Wright State with 9 turnovers, Western Kentucky with 8. Now keep in mind, Western Kentucky is one of the top 10 teams in the country in regards to shooting percentage, shooting 47% in the first half. A lot of those shots coming in the paint. Again, another team that doesn't take a lot of shots from behind the three-point line, and they really shouldn't when you look at the advantage that they have inside. Really trying to take advantage of the interior, especially since the Raiders are without Loud and Love, and you got to keep in mind, Grant Basile, as you see right there, has done a pretty good job. Of course, you look at that layup there by number 2 and Jared Savage. Jared Savage for Western Kentucky, 2 points, 3 rebounds. The Raiders have done an excellent job on Charles Massey. He still has 12 points in the first half, but he has not been made too much of an impact on the boards, only with 2 rebounds. He's a kid that averages 15 points and 12 rebounds a game, only 2 rebounds in the first half. Grant Basile has done a pretty good job of keeping him off the boards. The Raiders have tried to use interior penetration to kick it out for open shots. They haven't been able to shoot well from behind the three-point line. 36-34, Western Kentucky with the lead. Second half coming up next.
Both teams still with their original starters. Western Kentucky with a 2-point lead at the half, 36-34, along with Jim Brown. This is Chris Collins, and Western will have the first possession here in the second half. It's Hall, Gentry with 11 points, Holden, Wampler, and Basile for Wright State. Massey, who's got 12 points in the first half to lead Western on the floor along with Justice, Hollinsworth, Williams, who has the ball, and Savage. That was Hollinsworth looking inside for Massey. Ball tipped away and stolen by Jalen Hall on the wing. On the pass intended for Massey. On the other end, it's Massey. Wow. He beat Massey down the floor and got an easy layup.
Wow, that's great pass by Jalen Hall. Just a super pass and a great catch by Grant. And then, he took it up right away. No hesitation. Wasn't worried about it getting blocked. It's just a great offensive play right there. And you're right, they beat the big guy down the floor that time.
Game tied at 36. It's Massey in the post, stealing the pass into the hands of Gentry. Gentry on the wing, waits for his teammates. Wampler back to Gentry. Massey on the wing to Hall. Back in the middle of the floor, Wampler gets a screen. Wampler off the dribble against Massey, takes him inside. Goes up and under with the right hand, left it short. Tip no good by Holden. Massey the rebound.
Yeah, he didn't block it, but he bothered it, and that's what big guys do.
Hollinsworth in the paint. He had it stolen, knocked away, and picked up by the Raider defense.
Yeah, not a good start for Western Kentucky. 3 straight turnovers. Coach Stansbury's got to be frustrated. Three really unforced turnovers.
Here's Wampler off the dribble against Williams, takes him in. His layup is no good. Rebound, Massey.
Again, Massey, Williams contested that, and so did Massey. They both came at him. Made Bill shoot a very difficult shot.
Game is tied at 36, 20 on the shot clock. On the wing, it's Justice. Justice, pull up on the right lane line. Short, Massey, another rebound. Inside, short range, puts it up, no good. Rebound tipped around, grabbed by Hall. Hall up the floor, doesn't have numbers, feeds it on the wing to Gentry. And a foul, reach-in foul on Cameron Justice.
There was a foul out here at half court that the official missed too. Fans behind us are yelling, but it was a foul on the dribble. I don't know exactly who it was, but they didn't call that.
Justice.
Yeah, this is definitely a foul here. You just reaching unnecessary. That's just unnecessary. Grant's not going to hurt you right there. Cole's not going to hurt you right there.
Here's Hall off the dribble, taking it into the paint. Had the ball stripped out of bounds, and the officials say off the leg of Hall, turnover Wright State.
Both teams are off to rugged starts here. Western has turned it over 3 of the 4 times they've had it. Wright State, they got a basket on the first possession, but haven't scored since.
So both teams uncharacteristically turning the ball over with regularity tonight.
Yeah, both teams recently have done a good job in that area. Wright State did really well with that down in their tournament. Same way with Western.
Hollinsworth holding the ball, middle of the floor, now on the wing, right Justice. Lobs it down into the post, right side, facing up Massey against Massey. He's double teamed, off to Justice, catch and shoot 3 over Hall. He got it, tough shot.
Yeah, that's a really difficult shot. He had a hand in his face. He was on the move. That's not an easy shot.
Justice giving Western the lead. Here's Hall, reverse layup. Nope. On the rebound, Hall tried to save it. He does, out to Gentry. He is left wide open. His 3 rattles around, off the rim, no good. Massey with a rebound.
Sometimes that's the difference between winning and losing. Ball goes in or it doesn't go in.
Now Massey with it. Jump shot from the right, blocking short into the hands on the baseline to Hall.
I don't know whether that shot got blocked or he got hit on the arm.
Held in, and apparently he stepped on the sideline out of bounds, and another turnover for Wright State. 17:04 to play in the game. It's 39-36 Western.
Now, if you're Wright State and you're playing without your best inside player, Colin,
Vasili's out and Mans is in, Coach.
You can't make those kind of mistakes. You can't give Western extra possessions, because if this game gets down to the last minute or so, they have clearly an advantage because they got the big guy Charles Massey inside, and Raiders haven't been able to stop him pretty much all night long.
It's Hollinsworth leaning in with the right hand. Floater is good off the glass. It's 41-36. Western Kentucky with the lead.
Way too easy there. He just got a ball screen and just took it all the way to the basket. No contest whatsoever.
Jordan Ash into the game. It's Wampler trying to clear some space underneath the basket. Dribbling around against Massey. Forces one up. And he foul on Massey, and that's going to be his 3rd.
Well, that's a good move by Bill. He just kept moving. He put Massey in a tough position, and Bill's a little quicker on the move. He had the ball. He knew where he was going. Massey does a good job here. He just bumps him right there and then tries to block and must have got part of the arm. That's pretty good defense by the big guy. Unfortunately, gets a 3rd foul, but that wasn't too bad. He did a good job. He slid his feet against the smaller player and still contested the shot.
Wampler makes the first free throw. It's 41-37, Western Kentucky. Into the game, Trey Calvin for Gentry, and the second free throw is also good. Wampler now with 8 points in the game. and the Raiders trail by 3.
And there, you know, Coach Stansbury's leaving Massey in the game, taking a chance here.
Wants to get to the under 16 break. He's got the ball inside. Turn around with the right hand, just too easy over James Manns.
Well, I mean, that's just a layup. And you let him catch the ball in there, and it's going to be a tough situation.
Ash, a 3 from the corner. It is short, and the rebound tipped underneath, and a foul is going to be called on Wright State's James Manns. Over the back.
No, I don't think he called a foul. I think he just said he knocked it out of bounds.
Okay.
Yeah.
James was looking at it. So Basili is back in. Manns is out. 43-38 Western with 16-13 to play.
You got to have some size on Massey. I mean, you can't have a smaller guy, because that's just it's way too easy the last time down the floor. James is he's giving away 4 inches there easy.
Here's Justice protecting the ball from Calvin. Left side, Massey, he finds Hollingsworth. He goes up, he gets the bucket, and he is fouled. And we will go to a break with 15:56 to play. It's Western Kentucky 45 and the Raiders 38. Western Kentucky with a 2-point lead at the half. We're 15:56 to play in the game, and the Hilltoppers have built a 45-38 advantage. Along with Jim Brown, Chris Collins back at Wright State University's Nutter Center.
Yeah, I mean, every time Wright State makes a run on Western has an answer, and they've decided to take Charles Massey out of the game. So, that gives the Raiders a little of advantage inside. They just haven't been able to defend him inside at all. He's pretty much had his way all night long against the Raiders defense inside. Both teams second half Wright State is 1 for 6 here in the second half, whereas Western is 4 for 7, and they've taken the 2-point lead all the way up now to 8 points.
As Hollingsworth makes the free throw out of the break. Now it's Wampler with the ball going backdoor. He tried to, and it went off the leg of Hollingsworth. With 22 on the shot clock, the Raiders will keep it in their own end. 15:48 to play. It is 46-38. Hilltoppers.
That's a break for Wright State, because that was an ill-advised pass there by Bill Wampler. There was nothing there. And,
pass goes to midcourt to Wampler.
Good defense by Western.
Hall back to Calvin. Looks like the Western Kentucky's back in the zone. 2-3 zone. Middle of the zone, it's Ash. He goes in with the left hand. He put it in, and he's fouled. That's what you want to do, get into the middle of the zone.
Well, he made an aggressive move. He caught it, and he attacked right now. He didn't look to pass. He just put his head down, went right to the basket. See, Massey's not in there now, so you go right to the rim. Yeah, I mean, he didn't hesitate. He knows he's not going to have a shot blocker in there. Now, Anderson's a shot blocker, but he got by him right away. Just a real good move.
Ash can't make the free throw. 6-point lead for Western Kentucky. Ash coming into this game around 50%.
Well, that's the first free throw the Wright State missed.
Here's Williams underneath with the left hand. He is so good around the basket. He scores an easy layup.
You can't let him catch it down there. Both their inside players. I mean, the Raiders have really done a good job on him. He only has 4 points. That's his 6th point. But they haven't had an answer for Massey. He's the one that's really hurt him inside.
Silly wants it inside. It's a holding. Hall, a long 3, missed it. Rebound, Williams. Out to Hollingsworth, 2-on-1. He lobs it over to Savage, and he threw it out of bounds.
Yeah, that was a that was an ill-advised attempt there. I mean, first off, he didn't let his teammate get close enough to the basket. He was still way far away. That was an unforced turnover there. Just trying to be, you only get 2 points. There's no, this isn't a degree of difficulty where you get extra points on extraordinary plays. Just play the simple thing there, and they would have had a basket because they had an advantage, 2-on-1.
Gentry off the dribble, takes it to the baseline. Left side, brings the ball back out. Now it's Calvin.
Wright State needs a basket here. I mean, they've
Calvin catch and shoot 3, and that one's off the mark. Rebounds knocked out of bounds, and it belongs to the Hilltoppers with 14:35 to play and leading 48-40.
The Raiders have had the ball 11 times here in the second half, and they've only scored on 3 possessions. They have 6 points out of a possible 22, and the lead has gone from 2 at halftime up to 8. Western has a chance to get it into double figures here with a basket.
Here's Justice with a dribble to the free throw line. Cut off by Gentry. 12 on the shot clock. Out to Hollingsworth. Looking for a screen. Hollingsworth takes it to the elbow. He throws it inside to Williams. Spin move with the left hand, put it in.
Big time move right there. That's a great pass, though. That's what got that basket, was the pass. Williams just lives down in the paint. I mean, he's not as effective out away, but in the paint, he's golden.
Here's Calvin to the bucket, high off the glass with a bucket and a foul. Western Kentucky's lead now has shrunk to 8. It's 50-42, and Trey Calvin will go to the free throw line with a chance to complete a three-point play.
Well, the last 2 baskets Wright State's gotten have been where they've just attacked the basket. Now, that's a difficult shot. I mean, he had 3 guys coming at him. Notice how high off the backboard he shot that thing. That was a good 6 or 7 inches above the square up there, the gray square. That was just that was a heck of a shot by the young freshman.
And Calvin converts the free throw. It's 50-43 Western. 13:50 left to play. Substitution, Skylar Potter into the game for the Raiders, joining Wampler, Gentry, Holden, and the aforementioned Calvin.
That was Western's biggest lead, 10. There Williams is on the paint again.
Forcing his way in, and it's blocked by Calvin, but saved into the hands of Williams. And it's stolen again, and Wright State's Gentry on the floor will use a timeout. So a great play by the Raiders guards, Gentry and Calvin, to come up with a possession, and it's a floating break. So we'll take a break also with 13:31 to play in the game. It's Western Kentucky 50 and Wright State 43. The Horizon League Basketball Championships tip off at highest seeds on March 3rd and 5th, and 8 teams, 4 men, 4 women, will look to advance to Indianapolis and reach the Horizon March 9th and 10th at the Indiana Farmers Coliseum. To score your tickets, visit horizonleague.com. 13:31 to play. It's Wright State trailing Western Kentucky 50-43. Raiders with the ball as we come out of that break.
Yeah, one thing Wright State needed to do tonight to have a chance to win this game was to make their 3-point shots. They're 3 for 19 out there early in this.
Wampler pump fake goes in close range and puts it in. It's 50-45 Western.
It's a big basket by Wright State. They've scored 4 straight points here after being down 10. They've a little 5-0 run here. They need to get a couple stops, and of course this is important for Western to keep the pressure on.
Hollingsworth trying to answer. Runner on the right side. No, the tip dunk is no good by Williams, but it goes out front to Anderson and Savage. Savage will try a 3 from the left wing and drain it right in front of his own bench, and it's back up to a 53-45 advantage for the Hilltoppers.
Savage is a decent 3-point shooter. He's made 13 on the season. I mean, that's his first one tonight, but it's a big one.
Western in a man-to-man defense. Gentry over to Calvin. Calvin launches a 3. It's not good, and the ball into the corner and picked up by Hollingsworth. 53-45 Hilltoppers, 12:23 to play in the game. Anderson driving in on Potter. Picks up his dribble on the right lane line, flips the ball back to Justice with 12 on the shot clock.
That's good defense by Skylar there. Pick his dribble up.
Justice off the dribble against Gentry. Fadeaway jump shot sticks in the side between the backboard and the rim. Going to be a jump ball. The possession arrow belongs to Wright State. Into the game will be, it's like Rawls checking in at one of the guard positions for Western Kentucky. It is Jordan Rawls. First action here in the second half. Calvin's going to go to the Raiders bench. And Tanner Holden back in.
Jordan Rawls is a freshman, but he's 10 for 20 on his 3-point shots. He hasn't taken one tonight, but he's made 10 of them out of his 50%. You got to be, if you're Wright State, you got to be aware of that.
My apologies, Calvin's still in the game. Here's Gentry, floater, left side, off the glass and in. He's got 13, and the Raiders trail 53-47, 11:45 left.
Too easy there. He just went off of a screen. There was no help whatsoever. He had a good look at the basket, finished the deal off the little floater.
Anderson holding the ball deep on the left wing, now out near midcourt to Rawls. Calvin now backing off Rawls. High post pass. It's Justice getting a screen from Williams. Justice trying to get around Gentry, but he can't. Now it's Savage with 7 to shoot. Savage deep from the bucket, fires a 3 over Gentry. It's no good, and the rebound is Skylar Potter.
Yeah, what a rebound. He went up high for that.
Calvin versus at right wing. Wampler taking it inside against Williams. It's a bucket and a foul. Williams couldn't get there in time, and with an opportunity for a 3-point play will be Wright State's Bill Wampler, and we'll have that when we return in just a moment. 11:04 remaining, the under 12 break. Western Kentucky on top, 53-49. Got a close one. It was a 2-point separation at halftime, along with Jim Brown. Chris Collins back at the Nutter Center. A 53-49 lead for Western Kentucky.
Yeah, it's a good drive by Bill Wampler. Got all the way in. You know, Williams has done that a couple of times to him tonight. This is that 3 by Savage off the kick out by Williams. They got it to Williams on the low post. The Raiders doubled off of him and left Savage open. Savage nailed the 3. Wampler's going to be at the line here with a chance to cut this to a 3-point game.
And he's looking for his 14th point. He and Gentry in double figures. Gentry with 13, and now Wampler with 14. More importantly for his team, it's 53-50 Western.
If you're Coach Nagy, you're saying, just hang in there, guys. Just hang in there. Get this into the last immediate timeout, you know, where we have a shot. That's, I think, what Coach of course, he'd like to get a lead, but I think if he thinks he can stay with these guys until the last TV timeout, that'd be fantastic.
Little head and shoulder fake. Short range, puts it in from about 8 feet away. 55-50 Western Kentucky. Massey is back into the game. Here's Skylar Potter to the bucket, and he lays it in around Massey.
That's the best way to score on a big guy, is to attack him. Go right at him before he can gather himself and jump, and that's exactly what Skylar did there. Got by his man, got all the way to the basket, and instead of coming to a jump stop, he just took it right up and scored.
Here's Rawls with it. Out to Hollingsworth. Guarded by Holden, taking him inside. Feeds it underneath, tipped away by Massey, into the hands, baseline jumper. Rawls is good. Nothing but net. It's a 57-52 lead for the Hilltoppers.
That's a break for Western Kentucky right there. That pass didn't go where the player intended it for it to go. And
fadeaway jumper. Free throw line is good for Cole Gentry. He's got 15. It's a 3-point lead again for the Hilltoppers. Potter working against Rawls, both from Warren Central High School in Bowling Green, Kentucky.
I think Skylar would love to win this. That's his hometown right there, where Western Kentucky's located, in Bowling Green, Kentucky.
Savage with 12 on the shot clock. Western will reset out front. Now it's Rawls. One-on-one against Gentry with 7 to shoot. Here's Rawls, hesitation in the corner. Anderson launches a 3. It's no good. Rebound Holden at the shot clock. Quickly up the floor to Massey. Nice catch. Takes it in, puts it up. No. And he's fouled. Anderson may be called for the foul, but Massey will go to the free throw line for 2. With 9:17 left, the Raiders trail by 3.
It's one thing Coach Nagy emphasizes in practice every day is for his big guys to run. Loudon Love and Grant Massey, and Grant gets rewarded here. I mean, that's earlier in the game he got one on a long pass. I think it was from Jalen Hall, and was able to make the layup. He misses the first free throw.
And that's hurt the Raiders here recently.
What you want to do is you want to get down the floor. Well, that's the second one they've missed. They're 6 from 8 from the line. I think Coach Nagy would take 75%, but you're right. It hurt him down in Florida. There's one.
65% shooter is Massey. Williams checks back in. That foul was on Anderson. That was his second. 9:17 to play. It's a 2-point lead for the Hilltoppers.
Wright State's shooting 67 from the line, and Western's shooting 80%. It's a significant difference. And the other thing, in the same amount of games, Western has made 40 more free throws than Wright State. We talked about that earlier. Western does a good job of not fouling and creating fouls, getting to the lane. Tonight, the Raiders have done a good job. Western's only shot 5 free throws.
Here's Rawls over to Anderson. Gets the screen from Massey. Now Rawls. 14 to shoot.
Now they're posting up Williams inside. They want to get the ball to Williams on Wampler.
Hollingsworth dribbling on the right lane line, got a battle for the ball, and it's a jump, but the arrow belongs to Western Kentucky with 4 on the shot clock. 8:51 to go. They're up by 2.
That's good defense by Wright State. He put the ball on the floor, and there was help immediately. And of course, the Raiders don't get the ball here, but they get it the next time, which would be a far more significant possession if, in fact, a jump ball occurs in the last 8:51. But Western's got to recognize they only got 4 seconds on the shot clock, so they got to get something quick.
They get it to Hollingsworth. He goes inside, pump fake, goes up with a scoop off the glass and scores.
Well, that's pretty quick. It didn't take any time.
It's back up to a 4-point lead. Now Gentry with it. Out to Wampler, now Potter. Catch and shoot 3.
Yep.
Skylar Potter with a triple, and the Raiders are down 1 with 8.5 to play.
If you're a Wright State fan, you'd love to see him get on fire, because he's a young man that he can make him in a hurry. You know, last year when they played in the NIT down at Clemson, he hit 5 or 6 of them, and it took him no time to do it. He's a great shooter.
Hit 5 in a row against Central State this year. Here's Massey inside, trying to get around Massey, his left hand
big time rebound
by Skylar Potter. Quickly up the floor, it's Massey who lays it in to give the Raiders a 1-point lead with 8 minutes to play.
That's an impressive play right there. That's an impressive pass. First off, it was a great rebound by Skylar Potter, and then for Grant Massey to run the floor like that and beat his man down the floor. It's the third time tonight he's done that.
Hollingsworth, head and shoulder fake on Hall with 2 fouls.
Oh, he walked.
And he turned it over. Great defense by Jalen Hall, and that will take us to the under 8 break. With 7 minutes and 40 seconds to play, Wright State has taken the lead by a score of 60-59. Back at the Nutter Center, Wright State has taken the lead. Western has led most of this game, but the Raiders have now taken advantage of a 60-59 score with 7:40 remaining.
Well, there's the 3 by Skylar Potter, and they just didn't come out and guarding. And then this is a great pass by Jalen Hall to Grant Massey, and a great catch by Grant. Took it up and scored.
All right,
big time basket.
Okay, we're back to action. The arrow belongs to Wright State. Wampler gets it in bounds to Gentry, both in double figures. Wampler with it on the wing left to Potter. Potter taking the ball inside. Layup is up off the rim, but he's fouled by Williams. Stocks the clock with 7:32 remaining. And for Williams, that's his second personal.
Well, you know, Williams hurts the Raiders inside, but defensively, you can take advantage of, because he's got to guard a perimeter player, because you got Anderson's guarding Wampler and Massey's guarding Grant Massey, so that puts Williams on a wing player, and he has trouble guarding. He's going to have trouble guarding somebody like Jalen Hall or somebody like Skylar Potter.
Potter misses the free throw. He's 4 for 7 on the season. Looking to give the Raiders a 2-point advantage with a second throw. That's 16 or 17 fouls now on the Hilltoppers. The Raiders with just 1 in the second half, and Potter missed a second.
Well, that's been the Achilles heel of the Raiders, is free throws, and that's their 4th one they've missed. They missed 3 of their last 4.
So Western Kentucky attacking the man-to-man. Here's Justice, works against Gentry, crossover dribble, spin move, can't get around Cole. Gives the ball back up to Anderson. Savage lobs it into Massey. He goes up, blocked by Wampler, tipped over to Gentry. Wampler with it in transition, his 3.
Yes!
Got it. 63-59, Wright State. 6:55 to play.
Well, they got a great defensive play. You got it. They made the pass to Massey. Grant Massey was on the high side of him. Wampler came from the baseline and got a good block. Raiders recovered it and scored.
Hollingsworth back out to Massey. Mid-range jumper, no good. Rebound, Potter. Potter in traffic.
Foul, called a foul.
So a foul. He was somebody who reached from behind. The ball went out of bounds. The official trailing saw a hack, and Potter will go back to the line. He missed 2. He has a chance here at the 1-and-1 with his team up 63-59.
Well, you got to make these free throws. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Yeah, free throws don't win all games. They just win every single close game.
That's what cost the Raiders down in Florida.
Coach Ross, the first coach here at Wright State, said that. I played for him in high school and then coached with him here, and he always talked about that.
And Potter will get the bonus. Used a little rim right there, but it fell through, and he has a chance now to give the Wright State Raiders a 6-point advantage, which would be their biggest of the game with 6:29 to play.
Well, Wright State's only committed 1 foul here in the second half. That's Western's 8th foul.
And the second one, no good. Rebound for the Hilltoppers. So the Raiders missed, what, like six free throws?
Yeah, they missed 5. Yeah, they're
Hollingsworth, a quick 3. Nope, rebound Potter.
Well, Western's a little out of character right now. Wright State needs to take advantage of this. They're in a little rut now, and Western, yes, they've shown tonight they can score.
Gentry tried to lob it up, but there's Massey. Got a break. It was right in his hands, and he laid it in.
Yeah, that was a huge break. I think Coach might want a timeout here. Yeah, he's going to call a timeout.
Rick Stansberry is going to take a timeout with 6 minutes remaining. And it's going to be full timeout, but we'll keep it right here, Coach.
Well, Western's kind of out of sync right now, Chris. They've had a couple of breaks go against it, but give Wright State credit. Their defense has tightened up. A key play was that when Western went to Massey inside, I don't know if you'll see, this is a cross-court pass here. Walper hits a three, but their defense has tightened up inside. There's a lob. This is where the Raiders just get a break here. They go for the steal, Western does, and Raiders just get the ball tipped to Grant Basile. But this all started down at the defensive end for Wright State. A great defensive play where they isolated Massey on the left side of the basket, threw the lob to him, and he had a layup, but Walper came from the weak side and blocked it. Both he and Grant Basile got their hands on it. Raiders came up with it, came down the floor, and that's when Bill Walper hit the three. That was a significant play, and it's kind of gotten Western on their heels right now. Now, they're too good a basketball team. There's a lot of time left, 6 minutes, and I think this is a great timeout for Coach Stansbury to settle his guys down, and they just need to get a basket.
3 Raiders in double figures. They're led by Bill Wampler. You just saw hit that three on the replay. 17 points, 15 for Cole Gentry, and 11 for Grant Basile, who just continues to get better and better. Now seeing more time with Loud Love out of the game. If you're just joining us, he was hurt down in Florida, and we understand he might be back around Christmas time, but, we'll see. They're saying anywhere between, another 3 to 4 weeks.
Well,
there's Loud Love right on the screen.
Yeah, Loud Love there with the unusual haircut, I might add. But you talk about Grant Basile. I think his significant contribution here in the second half has been defense, Chris. I mean, you go back to the start of the game, Massey had the first 8 points. He had 10 of the first 12, something like that. He was just having his way inside. Second half, he only has 2 points. He's got 14 for the game. He had 12 at halftime, if I'm looking at this right, yes. And that's a significant thing that the Raiders have been able to take that away from him inside. You look at Williams. Carson Williams has 8, and Massey has 14. Those two guys are the heart and soul of the Western inside game, and the Raiders here in the last 10 minutes have been able to take that away, but there's still plenty of time. Western is by no means out of this game. They got plenty of time to get back in this thing, and they can score in a heartbeat, as we've seen. I mean, they can go on a 10-0 run in no time at all.
Savage will inbound near his bench out to Hollingsworth. Massey is out there along with Justice and Anderson.
I would expect they're going to go right to Massey here.
Here's Justice outside the three-point line, back to Savage on the left wing. Hollingsworth.
Yeah, they're trying to get it to him.
Here's Savage launching a three over Potter. It's good deep on the right wing.
That's a big basket. That's a second big basket he's got. Raiders did a good job there of keeping the ball out of Massey's hands. They wanted to go to Massey inside. And now it looks like Western's gone to a zone defense. I think this is a smart move. Raiders struggled with this in the first half. Now the Raiders have got some shooters in the lineup this time.
Here's Gentry with it still on the wing. It's into the middle of the zone to Hall. Wide open is Wampler. He'll fire a three and drain it. He answers the triple. It's 69-62 Raiders with over 5 minutes to play.
That was a great possession. If Wright State attacks the zone like that, I'm not sure Coach Stansbury will stay in it. That was excellent execution.
And an offensive foul on the pass. Skylar Potter helped up by his teammates. He took that blocking foul against Anderson, who picks up his third foul. And it's going to be it's a player control foul, so the Raiders will have the possession with 5:04 to play.
Yeah, cardinal rule in basketball, Chris, is you never leave your feet to make a pass. You leave your feet to shoot, but never to make a pass. And that's what Anderson did there and put himself in a difficult position. Skylar took the charge.
Raiders on the attack. Gentry out to Basile. At the elbow, back
he
over
might
to
have got
Hall.
away with a travel there.
Hall with it, swings it back to Wampler. Wampler's charging in with a layup. He put it up off the rim and a foul, and Bill Wampler is holding his midsection as he took that ball in, grimacing in a little pain, but he appears to be okay.
I think he got hit, in the area that hurts a little bit.
We'll watch it on the replay.
Yeah.
He got hit on the left thigh.
But I like what the Raiders did there. They took the ball to the basket. Now that's a 10th team foul on Western Kentucky. That's a significant thing because from here on out, Wright State's shooting 2 free throws. But I like the fact that instead of settling for an outside shot, they took the ball to the basket and get to the line. That's just good, smart basketball.
Bill Wampler tacks on another game-high point of 21. Williams checks back in for Western Kentucky, joining Massey, Savage, Hollingsworth, and Justice. And the second free throw, also it's true. And the Raiders are up now. Their largest lead of the game is 70-62 with 4:42 left to play.
Well, these possessions are getting real critical now for Western Kentucky. They can't have any vacant possessions. They got to make sure they get good shots every time down the floor.
Here's Justice at the top of the key, knocks down the jump shot for two.
That's a pretty good shot right there.
You got to watch him. He can really light it up. Raiders remember him from IUPUI. Skylar Potter. Back to Gentry. Now Basili, middle of the floor. Basili dribbling against Massey. Now taking him inside of Massey.
Oh, he's going to call an offensive foul
on Grant Basili. Apparently pushing off against the defender. And for Basili, that's kind of first in the team set.
That's kind of a cheap foul right there. I mean, Coach Nagy, he doesn't like that at all. I don't like it either. I mean, that's a cheap foul. You can't. I mean, this has been going all night long, both players, and you're going to call it with 4 minutes to go in the game. That just makes you wonder sometimes.
Here's Justice one-on-one against Gentry. He gets a screen.
He's the guy you got to be careful about. He and Massey.
Here's Massey down the baseline, clearing some space off balance.
Travel.
A foul.
They're going to call
Basili, and Massey gets the bucket. He'll get a free throw when we come back with the under 4 break. So 3:53 left, and it's Wright State leading Western Kentucky by a score of 71-64. 3:53 remaining at the Nutter Center. A good one here. The Raiders up over Western Kentucky, 71-66. Counted that bucket on this foul before we went to the break against Basili.
Yeah, it's a good move by Massey. Just gets his man in the air. And, I mean, he's got a really nice touch around the rim. There wasn't a whole lot of the last two calls that have gone against Wright State and in favor of Western have been very, very difficult fouls for Wright State. A lot of contact at the one end.
And Massey misses the free throw, and Potter another rebound. Massey came into this game as a 79% free throw shooter. Looks like a 1-3-1 half-court trap. Raiders attack it. Hall going inside with the left hand, missed the layup. And a foul called on Western Kentucky inside. And that will be against Savage. And that's going to be his third. And a double bonus now for Jalen Hall.
Coach Stansbury's pulling all his tricks out. A 1-3-1. He's played a 2-3 zone. Went to a 1. That's a good coaching move. You know, try it. Try something different. The Raiders haven't seen that defense all season long.
And Hall drills the free throw.
Just a good coaching move. I mean, to show something different, you might get a steal. Wright State attacked it really well, got the ball to the middle. Jalen took it to the basket. He only had one guy to get by, and he got by him and couldn't score, but he got fouled.
And he got both free throws. He's got all 4 of his points tonight from the line. And the Raiders lead 73-66 with 3.5 minutes to play. Collinsworth to Justice. He'll drive in on Cole Gentry. Fade away 3-point shot is good.
That's
what a shot.
That's big time. I mean, he can do that. He's very capable of doing that.
Lead is now 4.
Not a whole lot you can do about that.
Gentry down in low to Basili. Basili one bounce on the block. Tried to force it up, and it's stripped away and stolen.
Well, he put him in that was a difficult position for Grant to be in there. He didn't really have anything.
Mid-range jumper, Hollinsworth. Nope. Massey the rebound to Hollinsworth. Williams reverse layup. No.
Oh, wow, that's a big miss.
Basili a rebound.
That is a big Grant bothered him there. I mean, Grant got a hand up. That's a big miss. Wright State needs to take advantage of that. That's not going to happen very often. Carson Williams misses a shot inside like that.
Now it's Hall out front, nearly stolen by Justice. Rising for 3 is Potter. No, but a rebound by Wampler. He put it up, blocked by Massey to Williams.
You just can't attack the basket on him when he's got his feet set. You got to get him on the move and you can score, but when his feet are set, he's pretty good inside.
When Massey draws a crowd, his layup is good and he's fouled. And he draws to Western Kentucky to win 2 with 2:22 left.
That's what I said earlier. This game gets down to crunch time. Give Western the advantage because they got a guy inside the Raiders just haven't had an answer for all night long. But Justice has hit 2 big threes, and that last one, that was an NBA shot. He just created a little space, stepped back, and we witnessed that when he was with IUPUI. He's a great offensive player.
So Massey will go to the line. He's got 18 points tonight to lead, I believe, 3 Western Kentucky Hilltoppers in double figures. So he has a chance here for his 19th point and also to bring his team to within 1 with 2:22 left. And he does.
Yeah, it's a 6-0 run for Western Kentucky. Down 7. Now they've cut it to 1 point.
Raiders have to answer.
Well, you got to have productive possessions every time down the floor. Both teams. You're in crunch time right now.
Gentry leaves it for Massey. Swings it over to a wide open Potter for 3. It's short. Rebound Massey.
Well, you got a good look. That was a good pass. 2
minutes to play.
Skyler had a really good look, and he's a good 3-point shooter. I mean, they're going to go to Massey every time down. That should be an offensive timeout.
Timeout.
Yeah, Massey was getting away with a lot of pushing that time inside. He's got to be careful.
And we will keep it right here. So the timeout called by Rick Stansbury and Western Kentucky. And they trail by 1. They have the possession with 1:55 left. The possession arrow favors Wright State right now. The Raiders have only committed 4 fouls in the second half. Western Kentucky has committed over 10.
Yeah, which is an advantage for Wright State if they can take the ball to the basket. Here's the pass inside. The Raiders try to come from the weak side, but they're all late. They're all late, and it's a tough thing to do because you got 2 shooters on the other side. You got Anderson and you got Justice. So you can't help. You got to be careful when you help like that. But if you're going to help, you've got to get there really quick. Earlier in the game, they did. Wamper got there really quick and blocked the shot. So they're going to go to Massey. I mean, the 2 guys I think you got to. Well, I mean, Western's got some weapons, Chris. I mean, they got Carson Williams inside. They got Cameron Justice, who can shoot the 3, and they got the big guy Charles Massey inside, who's kind of taken over this game offensively in the last 3 or 4 possessions.
All right, Western with the ball and a 1-point deficit. Savage. Massey battling Massey in the post. Here's Hollingsworth with it. To Massey with 7 to shoot. On the wing, Justice.
Oh, he pushed off.
Free throw line is good. He hit the jumper.
Well,
he gives Western a lead by 1.
Yeah, he created space by pushing off with his right hand. Got away with it to create space. Good move by Cameron to create some space so they could get the shot off.
Now it's Gentry with a dribble to the left side. Taking it back out, puts it up, scoop shot off the glass, rolls around and in, and back goes Wright State on top.
Big basket. It's a huge possession right here for Western Kentucky. They need a basket or they don't want to.
1:07 to play.
And they're going to go to the big guy inside, no question about it. They posting him inside. There it is.
There he is against Massey. Forces one up, blocked by Massey, and he's got the ball. And a foul called on Massey. A tremendous defensive play by the redshirt freshman from Pewaukee, Wisconsin.
Well, he knew what they were going to do. That's the key. He knew they were going into him, so he got himself positioned. He caught behind him, slid his feet. When Massey went up, he went up with his long arms. That's what you'll notice here. See, he's giving him a little room, creating space so he can jump. And here goes Massey up. And Grant's got long arms, and that's a big-time block. That's just...
He'll get 2 free throws. The first one, no good. Raiders have really hurt themselves again at the line here tonight.
Well, they've missed, I think, 5 of their last 6, and it's been a thorn in Coach Nagy's. I mean, you know, as a coach, you can't do anything about it. It's all confidence, you know. I mean, the guys are good shooters. There's a little pressure now. These are pressure free throws, a little different.
And he missed that one. He hit the top of the backboard and came right through.
Well, maybe that's the break the Raiders needed.
They're only up 2 with 53 seconds left. Crowd getting up off their feet on $2 beer night.
Well, Wright State needs a stop here. I mean, this is crunch time right here. You got to get a stop.
Off the dribble, Hollingsworth, floater, right lane line, off the rim, rebound, Spyler Potter. 34 seconds left.
Now you want to get it into a good free throw shooter's hand. That's what you got to do. Get it to a good free throw shooter.
With the ball is Hall. 18 on the shot clock, 22 seconds left to play. Hall wants to go one-on-one against Hollingsworth. They're midcourt. Hall with 10 to shoot. Gives it up to Trey Calvin. 8 on the shot clock. Here's Calvin with it. Calvin slipping through the defense. Flips it in the corner. Here's Hall with 3 to shoot. Puts it up off the glass. Nope. 4 seconds left. Justice taking the ball to the basket. Scoop shot up. No good. And the Wright State Raiders survive.
Big time win. A big time win for Wright State.
At halftime and come back to win here today against Western Kentucky. So defense does it for Coach Nagy's team here tonight. And there were 3 Raiders in double figures. Grant Massey along with Bill Wampler and also Cole Gentry as the Raiders pick up a big win here at home here tonight.
Well, I'll tell you the play of the game, Chris, in the last 5 minutes was a defensive play by the young freshman from Wisconsin, Grant Basile. They went to their big guy inside, and Grant took his time, got good spacing, and blocked the shot. Big time play.
Oh, so the Raiders win it tonight. They move to 7-2 on the season, and Western Kentucky now falls to 6-3. Hope you've enjoyed it. We'll be back with post-game a little bit later on radio. The final score here tonight at Wright State's Nutter Center. It was the Raiders 76 and Western Kentucky 74. So for Jim Brown, I'm Chris Collins. We say so long from Wright State University's Nutter Center on the campus of Wright State University, where the final score was the Raiders 76, Western Kentucky 74. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.